Hello and welcome to this first presentation in which I outline the key benefits of a good diet for a rugby player. The goal of this presentation series is simple. I want a rugby player to learn about the key principles that allow them to improve their diet. I want to cut out the confusion, cut out the fluff, and cut out any fancy diet trends. I'm interested in educating on science-tested principles that I've learned about over my 8 years of studying and working in nutrition, and the ideas in which I've actually seen make a difference in the hundreds of players I've worked with. When I talk to players about performance, I always come back to one simple truth. A good diet underpins everything. It's what gives you energy to train, the nutrients to recover, and the building blocks to go stronger over time. Without a solid foundation of nutrition, training can only get you so far. A good diet supports every key area of performance, increasing your energy levels, promoting muscle growth, supporting recovery, optimizing bone and connective tissue health, helping with overall well-being, improving sleep quality, enhancing brain function, supporting immunity, and decreasing your risk of injury. Having a good diet is about being perfect. It's about making small and consistent improvements over time that allow you to reach your full potential as a player. One of the biggest benefits of having a good diet is consistent energy levels. When you eat regularly and include quality carbohydrates throughout the day, your body has a steady fuel supply. That means you're able to train harder, concentrate longer, and feel less fatigued in everyday life. Players who skip meals or eat irregularly often notice dips in performance, especially during busier training days. A good diet keeps your energy stable and predictable, which helps you perform not just on the field, but also in work, study, and life outside of rugby. A key change I often notice with guys I work with is that when they start to fuel properly, they become far less reliant on caffeine. There is a close link between the amount of muscle a rugby player has and their effectiveness on the field. A good diet supports muscle growth by giving your body the nutrients it needs to rebuild after training. The effort you are putting into your gym sessions should be equally matched by the effort you're putting in to improve your diet. When you have a good diet, you're able to increase muscle mass and keep body fat low. The effect of this is more power, more strength, and when we keep body fat low, you can continue to improve your strength and agility, helping you be more dynamic on the field. On average, elite players tend to have around 10 kg more muscle mass than amateur players, which illustrates the importance of developing muscle mass. A good diet supports recovery, which is where our training actually pays off. After you train, your body needs to replace energy stores and repair muscle tissue. Eating balanced meals with carbs, protein, and fluids helps to speed up that process. Players who consistently refuel after training recover faster, experience less soreness, and are ready to perform again the next day. When it comes to recovery, I think many rugby players focus on the 1%ers first before nailing the big rocks. Sure, an ice bath might help, but not if you aren't sleeping well or eating properly. A good diet also strengthens the body's structure, your bones, joints, and connective tissues. Rugby puts massive stress on these areas, so proper fueling helps them stay strong and healthy. When players undereat, bone density can decrease, increasing the risk of small injuries or stress fractures. Getting enough total energy and variety from your food supports collagen production and tissue repair also. Every tackle, scrum, or clean out puts a lot of stress on these connective tissues, but with a good diet, we can support our body becoming as resilient as possible. A very common thing that older professional players say to me is that they wish they took their diet more seriously when they were younger, as it's one of the key factors that influences the length of your playing career, largely due to its ability to increase resilience. A good diet plays a vital role in supporting an athlete's overall well-being, not just their performance. Off the field. A good diet is also strongly associated with a reduced risk of mental health problems and complex carbs support brain function, mood stability, and cognitive clarity. And bone-related issues such as osteoporosis. For rugby players, maintaining good nutrition is about more than just fueling for the next game. It's about protecting long-term health and creating a strong foundation. The body can relax properly at night. Under-eating and average fueling habits often lead to disrupted sleep and average sleep quality. Having a good diet also helps regulate the hormones that support sleep, meaning you fall asleep easier and wake up more refreshed. The research is clear that the more you sleep, the better you can recover, the harder you can train. And in fact, sleep is often one of the first things I focus on. Well, their appetite becomes less stable. They tend to feel hungrier during the day and often crave sugar. A good diet doesn't just fuel your body, it fuels your brain. Rugby requires constant thinking, decision making, and communication. When your nutrition is consistent, you stay sharp. Concentration fades later in sessions. A balanced diet with steady energy intake helps maintain focus. Their energy supply running efficiently. Amazingly, even though the brain only makes up 2% of body, a strong immune system is vital in rugby, especially during periods with higher training loads. A good diet provides the energy and nutrients your immune system needs to function properly. Players who eat consistently with different types of fibre, vitamins and minerals that help beneficial bacteria grow in the gut, nutrient absorption and overall well-being. Research has found that rugby players with consistently high energy intakes throughout the season experience fewer muscle strains and recover faster between games. A common phrase in the sporting world that is relevant here is the best ability is availability. You can't improve if you're constantly injured or sick, and a good diet keeps your body healthy, reduces fatigue, and supports faster recovery after contact. When players prioritise eating well, they're simply more available to train and play. Over a full season, that adds up significantly to more opportunities to develop and perform. So as we can begin to see, having a quality diet is related to every aspect of a rugby player's health and performance, either directly or indirectly. It is one of the key things you can control to determine the type of player you end up being, and having a poor diet is certainly going to limit your potential as an athlete. Making positive shifts in one aspect of your diet can have so many effects, which all feed back off each other. Take protein intake, for example. Improving this one aspect of your nutrition can enhance muscle recovery, strength development, body composition, help you regulate your appetite, and decrease your risk of injury. And all these changes are interlinked from making just one shift. A quote I like is, "Training is king, nutrition is queen. Put them together and you've got a kingdom." I really like this quote because it captures the balance between effort and recovery. Training provides the challenge, but a good diet determines how well your body adapts to it. Without adequate nutrition, hard training just breaks you down. With a good diet, that same training makes you stronger. The more you can think of your training and diet as working together, the better off you will be. A good question to ask yourself as a rugby player is, how can you organise your diet in a way that allows you to best perform and adapt to the training you are doing? When you view training as the lead and your diet as the key supporting actor, it becomes easier to make decisions around the types of food we should be eating. Will this food help us perform? Will this food help us recover? If the answer to both of these questions is no, we must question its inclusion in our diet. I always encourage players to take a long-term approach to their diet. All changes you make should be sustainable. What I often say is that if you can't see yourself following that diet in a year's time, you shouldn't follow it for a day. You likely aren't going to see results straight away as well, but you need to stay patient and have the belief that consistent actions day to day will get you to where you want to be. As with many things, it's doing the boring and simple things over and over that get results. Ignore the fluff, the distractions, and the quick fixes. A key thing I've learned from my experience after working with hundreds of rugby players is that you come to realise it all comes back to the basics. Nail this and you are 90% of the way there. When you get those basics right, everything else becomes easier. Don't get lost in the detail and focus on the big rocks, which we will cover in the next presentations. Outside of your training, developing your good diet is about the biggest lever on performance you have as a rugby player. Make sure to check out the extra resources I've linked below in the description. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next presentation.